recite the Dakada Creed. Akwa Ibomites, rise to the faith of greatness. Rise to the faith that with God all things are possible. Rise to the faith that Akwa Ibom was created by God out of greatness. Rise to the faith that as a people, we can move beyond ethnicity, biases, religion, and gender. Rise to togetherness. Rise to the faith of our resources beyond what others see, human and intellectual. Rise to chart a new course for us, our children, and a generation of Akwa Ibomites unborn. Rise to the faith that one day we shall be counted as great people of a great state with great minds. Rise to the faith that all these are possible and many more. Hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. I rise to the faith that Akwa Ibom was created to be great. I rise to the faith that Akwa Ibom is destined to be great. I am an Akwa Ibomite, and I rise to the faith of greatness. Me dakanda, Akwa Ibom, dakada. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information, Akwa James Edet, NPOM, to please come to this microphone and lead us in brief opening prayers. Opening prayers.
Let us pray. Can we please be in the mood of prayers? Our Father, Lord, we want to thank you for Akwa Ibom set at 35. We thank you for the labors of our heroes past. We thank you for our contributions of today. In a special way, we thank you for our governor, His Excellency Governor Olum Emmanuel. You knew that at a time like this we'll need him. Thank you for what you used him to do in our Akwa Ibom state. We thank you for all the media practitioners in this state. Father, as we continue to interface with the government, we pray that you help us to see you more clearly in all activities, follow you more nearly, and love you, even as we love this state, more dearly. And in all activities, even as we continue to break the news, may the breaking news not break this state. For these and many more, we pray in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Akwa James Edet, NPOM, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Strategy. Thank you. Your Excellency, for today, anybody that wants to ask a question will first have to recite the Dakada Creed before asking the questions. If you don't recite the Dakada Creed, you will not ask any questions. I think that way we would even say the press Parley is over. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we welcome His Excellency, our governor, our number one citizen, the one in whom a good number of us, if not all of us, are very proud to have as a leader at this point. Please put your hands together for Mr. Udom Emmanuel, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, who is here with us. Thank you very, very much. We welcome a member of the fourth estate of the realm, a very senior one for that matter, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Moses Ekpo, MFR. Can we please put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we welcome the State Chairman of the party in government and the party in power in Akwa Ibom State, the People's Democratic Party, the Right Honorable Elder Anyakan Akpan. Can we please put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen? Let me acknowledge the presence of and welcome Head of the Civil Service of Akwa Ibom State, Elder Efyong Essien, who is here. Please put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Seated to his immediate right, immediate past commissioner in the Ministry of Lands, Akwa Ibom State, the governorship flag bearer for the People's Democratic Party here, Pastor Umar B. Eno. Can we please put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Information and Strategy, Comrade Ini Ememebong, who is here. Please put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. The state chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, two-time chairman, Comrade Amos Etuk is also here. Please put your hands together for him. In that order, we welcome Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Ikerete Udo. Please put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, we have here members of the EXCO, the Executive Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. We welcome, of course, all of them from the different chapels of the NUJ. Welcome the heads of the different media organizations that are here. Your Excellency, I'm not sure there are many states in this country that have 13 radio stations alone in one state. In Akwa Ibom, 13, and I think tomorrow they're even opening another one. They are building radio stations every day. And I think it's a good news because they're employing people. They're employing people, Your Excellency. So all the heads of the different media organizations that are here, please put your hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Permanent Secretary, Management and Staff of the Ministry of Information. We welcome the veteran journalists, a good number of whom are here, past Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. We welcome all of them. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all the members of the fourth estates of the REM. Can we please put our hands together for ourselves, all the people that are here? I don't know, is it the cold? Is it the air conditioning? Are they having pens in their hands? Can you please give a better round of applause? Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. After those formalities, let me invite for a brief welcome speech Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Ikerete Udo. Please put your hands together for him.
The consequential Governor of Akwa Ibom State and the Chairman of the PDP campaign organization, my boss, His Excellency Governor Udom Emmanuel, the Deputy Governor of the state, and my senior in the profession, the one we call Uncle Mo, the chairman of the party, PDP in the state, Mr. Elder Aneka Nakban, the head of civil service, and the Honorable Commissioner for Information in the state, Barrister the chairman of the NUJ, Akwa Ibom State Council, Comrade Amos Etuk, and of course, the PDP governorship candidate for 2023, and by the grace of God, the incoming governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Omoeno. Let me, on behalf of the hardworking members of the press corps, welcome you to this media interaction. This is going to be the last of this kind of interaction. And in the last 7+ years, ladies and gentlemen, we've interacted, we've judged, we've had fundamental differences, we've had philosophical differences as well. But in all of that, the immutable fact remains that we are all invested in Akwa Ibom State, and we want the state to be the best that we can call ours. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to preempt what His Excellency, my boss, is going to say, but let me start by saying that he came into office on the 3 tripods of development: land, air, and sea. And I want to say this with all certainty, that there is no doubt that in all those angles, all those elements, His Excellency has done pretty well. Is it in aviation development? Today, Ibom Air, against the negating impulses of naysayers, is defining the colors of Akwa Ibom State in the Nigerian aviation industry. Today, Akwa Ibom State is blessed with possibly some of the best road network, world-class road network in the country. Is it in food and agriculture? The governor has done well. So as we gather here today, this afternoon, with a few more months to go, I want to believe that you can always, as I've always been employing you guys, to continue to work with us, to continue to advance the cause of Akwa Ibom State, advance the cause of what His Excellency has done across sectors in the last 7+ years. Let me end this brief remark by reprising what I've always said in the last couple of years that I've had to interact with you guys. In 2001, as a grad student taking a course in American politics and government, we went to see the then New York Times editor. His name was Bill Kellner. I still remember we walked into his office on the 43rd Street on 6th Avenue by Bryant Park in New York City. And in the course of our interaction, and this was just shortly after the 9/11 terrorist attack, one of my fellow students had asked the then editor, Bill Kellner, and this is, you guys understand that the New York Times shapes policy, dictates what happens in America. And so the journalist asked the editor, "Sir, during moments of national emergency, how should journalists ply their trade? Should they drape themselves in the gap of patriotism, or should it be business as always?" You know what the editor said? "Ladies and gentlemen, you need a nation first in order to practice journalism." So, my dear brothers and sisters, my colleagues in the profession, we should not break the fabric of the society, the cords of our understanding and unity in an attempt to break the news. God bless you all and welcome.
Yeah, I remember I shared an office with that gentleman on the 43rd Street somewhere around New York City around 2001. The people who don't believe are laughing. Please put your hands together for the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Ikirete Udo. He said something very significant. You need a state first before you can practice journalism. I think it's a takeaway from this event. Let me invite very quickly to set the tone for this interaction, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Comrade Ini Ememebong. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, through you, I seek to rely on the order of precedence variably established by the Master of Ceremonies. Your Excellency, philosophers have agreed that identity is one journey that a human being starts with and also ends with. At birth, we struggle to get an identity. At death, the identity follows us through. That journey of identity seeking, which defines the entire existence of man, also defines the existence of other things that man has, like a state, like a company, which is why reputation is important. In the past 7.5 years, you have put in your best in the onerous task of leading the state, not just leading the state, but in providing a distinct identity for the Akwa Ibom person, so that wherever an Akwa Ibom person is seen, that identity will speak for him. Your Excellency, as much as you have done that, you've also realized that the people who shape and mold the thoughts of people, the perception of people, are the journalists. And in these past 7.5 years, you have made it a point of duty to discuss with them. Your Excellency, time plays a role in human existence. This is the last of such that will happen in the course of the anniversary of the state. And Your Excellency, there's a dilemma that people face when they are served with 3-course meals. When they have a starter, they have the main course, and they have the dessert. If the starter is too sweet they end up eating too much of the starter and it affects the main meal. If it is not sweet, they end up abandoning even the main meal without testing it. Your Excellency, I and Ekerete are the starters for this meal. You are the main course. The dessert will come after. I will not take any further time than to say, Your Excellency, behold your people. Your people, behold your governor. Thank you.
Can we please put our hands together for the Honorable Commissioner? Thank you. His office is on Block 4, Donaldson Khan Secretariat here in Uyo. Thank you. That's where his own office is. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I at this point most respectfully invite His Excellency, our Governor, our #1 citizen, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, to please address us. Please put your hands together for His Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. NUJ is someone.
Novinia, in here I say Boro. NUJ. Oh my God. Akwa Ibom is song. Akwa Ibom is song. Mbogaytete. Let me once again give glory to God for Akwa Ibom State at 35. No matter how man feels, no matter what man says, God has been good to Akwa Ibom State. From day one till today, different times, different seasons, different leaderships, different results. So we have every cause to tell God, thank you. And I just stand here to, first of all, acknowledge God on behalf of all Akwa Ibomites. There are a lot of things, even factories, companies, businesses, that people set up and could not survive for 35 years. At 35, we are waxing stronger. We are more united. We are moving forward. And by the special grace of God, we will reach our destination and will reach our goals. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Chairman of PDP, the largest party in Africa, and the Party of Development for Akwa Ibom State, the Head of the Civil Service, the PDP candidate, Honorable Commissioner for Information and other commissioners here present, the Chairman of NUJ, the State Working Committee of NUJ, heads of different media houses here present, chairmen, members of different chapels, past chairman of NUJ here present, the veterans who are here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are here, and I want to believe that today I should be the one not to speak, but allow you to do the speaking. But be that as it may, I want to appreciate all of you, especially those with constructive criticisms. Those go a long way to help and to shape us and to put us in the right direction. Let me also appreciate those with negative, destructive criticisms, because without an enemy, no man can survive. So every man needs an enemy to survive. So there's no man on earth that will not have an enemy. It's only I pray your enemy should not be the one Paul gave in the 1 Timothy. He handed certain people to certain class. I don't need to mention that when you reach the last verse of 1 Timothy chapter 1, you know who Paul, apostle, handed over such people to. But let me also say here, it's very interesting. I feel excited at times when I'm outside. I tell people the number of, local media I have here. electronic print that we have here, everybody just look at me and say, are you serious? I say, yes, I'm serious. That is the number that we have. But I also want to say that a mouth that cannot commend, that mouth has no right to condemn. Because the mouth that can commend should be a mouth to condemn. Let me also put here that in the past over 7 years, we've been in the saddle of governance in this state. Only God knows why Udom Emmanuel had to be a governor at a time like this. This is a government, at times people forget that we've passed through 2 major recessions and a major worldwide issue, COVID-19, that has seen a whole lot of countries crumble, economies crumble, Naira turning to what none of us here could have predicted some years back. Inflation skyrocketed. Only God knows what the price of a bag of cement will be tomorrow. Despite that inflation, despite the value of Naira, when people want to criticize, I always tell people, pause a little. Just turn yourself to an economist. Convert whatsoever you want to talk. Index it on inflation, index it on exchange rate, and then take the real value of money and compare to what you see on ground, and then draw a conclusion for yourself. But I know, whether we like it or not, there is something I was born to hear in Africa, which is witchcraft. And I tell people witchcraft is not what people define here. Witchcraft is turning what is good to what is bad, that's all. That's the spirit of witchcraft. Anybody who sees what is good and calls it bad, that's all. So at times people just describe this in a different way. No, that's not it. That's the real spirit of witchcraft. You've seen what is good though, but you just make it bad. That's the spirit of witchcraft. And I know it's in the hearts, it is in the minds of people to actually do that. But I'm grateful today. I promised when I took over the mantle of leadership in the state that I'll do my possible best to take the step to the next level. Today, whether you agree with me in this hall or not, anywhere on planet Earth you go and mention Akwa Ibom, you will be accorded the right respect. That is a state to be reckoned with in this country, whether you like it or not. And whether you believe me or not, it's a flagship of development of this country. And today, I personally allowed some of the journalists to go around the state because it's so easy. People sitting down in the radio just to damage. And unfortunately, a lot of those people that sit down to just damage, criticize government on radio, some of them have never left their local government area since they were born. So they don't even have basis of what we call peer comparison. Even in financial statements, it's what we call year on year. So in development, it's what we call peer comparison. Put apple to apple, mango to mango, and then let's see. And let's also draw a conclusion from there. Unfortunately, all those who sit, this is a situation where you see a whole lot of people overnight. Somebody, at the last time I checked, overnight will become a financial expert. Will be the one to advise you on budgeting. But we like it. I mean, that's what makes the world interesting. And that's what makes the Bible to be fulfilled. David says so. He said, look, many are they. So he wasn't one. So many are there. But honestly, today I stand here to appreciate those who have joined hands, not only with me, with past leadership, with whatsoever. Every one of us will have a role to play to make this state where it is. No matter what talent you have today, God gave you that talent for a purpose. If God gave you a talent to write, that writing should be able to create something positive for another person to enjoy. Don't use that talent wrongly. If God gave you a talent to speak, why not speak and let another person benefit from that your power of oration or power of oratory? So let somebody make use of your talent to the benefit of another person. That's why God gave you. Because God did not give you that talent just for you to use it for something destructive, but something constructive, something developmental. So a whole lot of us have talents here that we can actually, during the Merit Award on Saturday, you see a whole lot of Akwa Ibomites who have used talents in different ways. We could not even recognize so many of them. And I was so thrilled to look at the list. Some of them, we are planning, those who are still in school, we are planning to do a special school where we will approve special scholarship for their development. So whatsoever talent you have, find out from yourself, how am I using this talent? This thing that God gave me, I did not do it myself. No man wakes up one morning and make himself. Everybody is made by God, probably through another man. So that thing that God gave and deposited in you, how much have you used it to impact another person, or to bring development, or to create something for anybody? There's no man that God did not create that is not a star. It's not yet happened. Every single person, God made that person a star. I can conveniently prove that to you. The brethren of Joseph, they were 12 in number. The Bible says there were 12 stars, but only one shone, and that was Joseph. Others had stars, and what did not make them not to shine? Envy and jealousy. So a whole lot of things that could actually make people, every single human being is a star. But the question is, that your star, shouldn't you allow that star to shine and then bring development, bring something for your own people? A whole lot of us here, can actually change the narrative of what we were born to see in Africa, and if we are so determined to do so. So we need collaboration. We need people to work with us. We need people to help us. Today, we can attract a whole lot based on the narrative that we sell. And it's so unfortunate at times. People sell the narrative. Whatsoever negative narrative that is being sold in the public space is not about Udom Emmanuel. I mean, Udom Emmanuel is just here for 8 years. By next year now, another face will be on the signpost. Probably you won't even find my photograph anywhere. You will see another person. That person will also carry out. But I also pause to at times tell people that no matter what we do, every single one of us were all created by God. So we are subject to the Creator, no matter what you do, no matter who you are. If you want to doubt me, find out if you sleep, whether you even remember your children or your wife, whether you remember your bank account, whether you even remember where you are. When you sleep, you are dead. Why not command yourself that you are sleeping and then you're still conscious of everything? It's not possible. That shows that at a certain point in time in your life, you lose control and your maker takes over. It decides whether you wake up or not. It is not alarm that wakes you up. It is nobody that wakes you up. It's not even your wife that wakes you up. Something wakes you up, and that's your maker. So every single person was born a star. Every single person has something to contribute. The question is, can I just come, live with the talents God gave me, and then without actually impacting the society? It doesn't mean that all of us will be a senator. Not all of us will be in politics. There are people that will be in different fields and make life move on. And that's how God created and made life. So I really want to really sincerely appreciate all those who are collaborating to make things work and to make things move and then making positive impact. It gladdens my heart when I read what those people try to market the state. Forget about Udom Emmanuel. Forget about any other person. Just believe you can make something positive for the life of that next person that is coming after you. And God will bless all of us for doing that. At 35, as a state, God has really done so well. We've been so blessed with good leadership. From day one till today, God had really different people, different times, different style, different result. That's the first thing that I said. Let me also say here, I allowed the journalists to go around all our projects today before I do this media parley. Because some people, I overheard some of them speak in the radio, oh, all those things, they're in the paper, they're in the paper. If you find them in the paper, we don't have any, at this level, we can't deceive ourselves. If something is there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. I mean, some of us don't give to that. That's not politics. No, not at all. If I bring one, you can also help me bring two. And that can make a society grow. If I struggle for A, you can also help me struggle for B and C. And that will help us grow as a people. So I allow people to go around, let people see. Today, I can conveniently say, and I stand to be challenged, that even as we start the second phase of our commissioning, last week I was busy commissioning community roads, internal roads, and so on. And at the point when I did the last commissioning of the roads, I said as of today by my records that I've done 113 internal roads in this state within this short period, under the economy of recession, under the economy of COVID. And certain communities, I even told them the number of roads I promised and how many I've delivered and how many are ongoing. If you also check major roads and highways, compare what we've done as a sub-national with what you've seen at the national. Today, people will go on, I remember when we started Uyo Itinan, Even when I started the flyover, sorry, I won't call it a coming man today. You know, Uyo people don't like me calling that place a coming man. What's the name of Uyo people like to call it? Ikoroku, Ikono. Thank you. I will never call it a coming man today before Uyo people crucify me. I remember when we just started, and what was the essence there? Everything we do has a particular part of economic value and certain things tied to it. When I gave people the analysis of the statistics of accidents that happen in that place, a lot of people now say, okay, Your Excellency, I now understand. And when we started that, there were a whole lot of issues. COVID, I got so terribly battered. Today, in the whole of this sub-region, that's the longest flyover that is more than 1 kilometer. Go and check anywhere. And we are using it. Tell me, from the day we commissioned that flyover till today, whether we've had a single of such accident again. I'm not aware. I'm not aware. But look at what happened. And I now say from that place straight to Itinan, let Julius Bay, because that road is a major commercial road. A whole lot of people apply that road now. And we try to dualize that. Oh, people say, today, the same set of people, I think we are less than 2 kilometers before Itinan Junction. Look at the quality of the road we are delivering there. Look at the work we are doing there. And see, from that Itinan Junction, we created an access to East-West Road that will be commissioned by Obasanjo on the 26th, on Monday. Find out in Nigeria how many of such roads you have. On a dualized 6-lane thoroughfare, is over 24.3 kilometers, all lit up, all paved, all curved, all marked, will be commissioned on Monday. In a country where people, others, are struggling in many other ways, I don't want to mention because, God created us differently. And today, we have a vision. I'm trying to envision a state that in the next 50 years, certain things will not have to be repeated, in terms of infrastructure and development. I made a challenge of flood in Uyo everywhere. I made a challenge of flood on Nsika within my first term. Whenever it rains, I remember those days when we come, when it rains, you used to see fire service truck trying to pump water out of an artificial gully that was created there to collect water. When it rains, people use it as a stream to wash keke, okada, and so on. I said, this is surmountable. This cannot pass what man knowledge can do. We fixed that up. Everything there is buried underground. But the next minute, somebody will ask you, Governor, where is our money? Come on. What that could be? This is something that challenged every other person ignored it. I took it because my governance has nothing just to do with playing of politics, but I play development. I play the next generation. I play setting up the pace for economic development for the state. We get that sorted out. People now turn, okay, you sorted out that. The whole secretariat was underwater. The whole Atana Fort was underwater. That stretched up to IBB. Every single property around that area lost value. Nobody provided a solution. Today, I can stand tall to say that we ran a project there in collaboration with World Bank to take out that flood that will be commissioned tomorrow. That is not less than, in any way, thank God, with the support of World Bank. That project is not less than, at cost, not even at value, it's not less than $37 to $38 million. So, the drainage has solved issues in 18 communities today across 3 local government areas of this state. And that's something that from creation, nobody could tackle. From creation, people thought, oh, in politics, if you do that, but we take this headlong. People challenge us. People did all sorts of things. Today, we're out of it. And I came and talked to our people. Till tomorrow, a lot of people still don't understand the vision. That look, anywhere, any community, tomorrow now, if PDP takes over at the center by 2023, there could be, it takes only a presidential order to ask IOCs, return to your operational base. And I know the challenges because when I came in, I tried to talk to so many of them. He said, look, Your Excellency, in our balance sheet, we can't create buildings. We can't. So we don't have facilities. Where do you want us to come and be? I now try to talk to our people, all sorts of criticisms. Today, we have the smartest office building. If PDP comes into power in 2023, it takes just a presidential order. All IOCs return to your operational base. Every IOC offshore, Akwa Ibom, will have an office space. As of today, people are saying, why is it not occupied? We are trying to mince the space. You know, if we rush now to clear everywhere there, the time that value will be derived, we will not see it. You know, I'm a marketer. So I won't market what is worth 10 naira for 5 naira because of desperation. No, not at all. It's a fantastic asset that we did. All discouragement and everything that came with it. But today, we have that asset to pride ourselves. Even the former president of Obasanjo said that, look, in this country, there is no such asset that is owned by a state government as of today. In the face of recession, in the face of COVID, we are delivering dividends of democracy. We are delivering on our promises. Or is it how to cover the state that could make something happen? A lot of people, a lot of elders came to me, why do you want to break down houses along Airport Road? I said, look, sir, nursery schools are opening on Airport Road. Activities are going on. Very soon, people won't be able to pass that Airport Road because it had less than, I can't call that a 2-lane road. Less than 2 lanes. Once there's any activity, the whole side of it is blocked. If a truck comes, cannot pass. And if you are a true leader that thinks about tomorrow, not just about today, how to win an election, you will think about what will happen in the next few years. I told this people, look, we know the way we are growing, because I know even by the number of enrollment of students in schools. If I fix amenities today in school, tomorrow that school outgrows those amenities because people are moving into our state a whole lot. I said, no, that would not be done. I needed cooperation. I needed people to help me, educate people around there that, look, this is what we needed to do. But I'm happy today it's beginning to take a shape. And what's the plan? The plan is come down from the terminal building. You are visiting the state. You're coming down from a terminal building that is smart in nature. A terminal building that meets all ICT standards. A terminal building that if you're waiting for a flight, you can even do video conferencing and be running your office right from the waiting lounge of a terminal building. And you can still operate. That's the next century. Once you come down from that, you enter a road that will be well lit, 6 lanes. As you enter into the city, the road will expand into 8 lanes. As you get into the center of the city, you can spread yourself into 10-lane ring road, either to the left, Nsika Edward, or to the right, Nsika Edward, or to the left, that will be named after Clement Tison. That's how to look at the city for another 30, 40, 50 years. These are things that we do that have a lot to do with planning. And also when we came in, I said that, look, people could not understand when I meant that I'm coming to look at what I call industrialization. How do you industrialize the state? You industrialize the state by looking at the 3 gateways. I try to educate people on this. And what are the 3 gateways? A, road, water. Today, we've conquered the road. I stand to be challenged. This is one state that the day I leave office, we would have linked all areas by major, great quality road across this state. Everywhere will be linked up. And that will ease a whole lot of economic development and will set the pace. Whatsoever is remaining, I'm believing in the next 7 months, we should be able to deliver on major ones. Even Jesus Christ did not finish the work overnight. So I'm not saying I'm going to finish all the work. Because if Jesus Christ has finished the work, preachers wouldn't have what to preach again. All of you now wouldn't have preaching to do. So Jesus Christ still left some preaching for me and you to do. That's why he said, go ye into the world and preach. So I must still leave something to go ye into the world so that there will still be work. And the incoming will concentrate a whole lot on trying to develop and then empower. So roads we've conquered. Air, today, whether anybody believes it or not, we've conquered the air. Completely, totally. Even in the face of this, today, I don't want to overflog it. At least everybody knows we run the most efficient airline business today in this country. Probably what we don't have enough to what I envisioned is the aircraft. And the problem we're having today, that we couldn't make the fleet to what I believe as of today we would have had, is this Russian-Ukraine war. I hope you know, I don't know how many of you are in the finance world. If you go to unit financing, trust funding, and the rest of them, a whole lot of those funding has one route or the other into Russia. Because if you check the entire Europe, Russia supplies them gas. I don't think all of you know that. Russia pipes gas the whole of Europe. So tell me, a country that supplies them gas and so on, there's hardly any money or any activity, economic activity in Europe that won't have a K-leg. And do you know what these people do? When that development is coming to a third world country, they say, no, there's sanction against Russia. That money has a leg in Europe. But the same people, overnight, the same Russia He's still giving them gas and they are taking. So that, but to me, I don't think that's still an issue, because we've tried to do what I call a workaround that will also still help us to include, make sure the fleet is a whole lot. So today we have a conquered, and that's not even the story. The story that will gladden your heart is that before the end of this year, we will commission. I would have said today, as I'm standing here, our MRO is more than 95% completion. 95%. And the story of that is not just what you see. It's not that building you see, but what that building will attract. In the whole of this region, there's no single MRO. Not even a national has an MRO. So for a subnational to do an MRO is a major, major breakthrough economically for us. You see a whole lot of economic chain effect that MRO will bring, because people will come in, and also the state government should be able to earn some foreign currencies out of that, because anything about aviation business is not done with local currency, it's done with foreign currency. Others will bring in there, and when they come, they will stay in a hotel, they will improve the economy, they will bring the money they will also spend here, and before you know it, people will now start setting up also bureau de change around there, because these people, if they want to buy a car road, they will need naira. A woman, they will not collect dollars from them. So a lot of business will spring up. That will be the order. So much will be attracted by that. Is it the terminal building? Today, 2 months ago, a group MD of NNPC comes. He will break the news on the direction of a Bakadip seaport that will move on forward. And what will that entail? What we are working on right now is we are looking for what we call an anchor tenant. That anchor tenant will be the one, once you have an anchor tenant, the industrial city and so on development is easier. And that anchor tenant we are talking today is in Korea. I don't still also want to disclose the name, because this is being watched all over the world. But I'm telling you, we are working day and night. We've paid those consultants, the surveys are being done. A lot is being done. It's a project I will pursue till the end until we realize it. Thank God, by the special grace of God, today, Etebienwang Road is almost 90% complete. And I can assure you, before December this year, I will commission Etebienwang Road with that bridge and everything, so that there will be ease of access into that area, and then we'll open up. I can only advise our people. I'm sorry I wouldn't have said this before the camera, but I have to say so. At times, people sit down and criticize, and things pass them by. We will now sit down and be criticizing whether this thing will be called Ibom or will be called this. That's the name, has nothing to do with the economic value. Today, I can even advise you, if you have a property around there, go and secure your property. The value of property around that area in the next few years to come, go and mark my word, if you have this step, go and keep it somewhere. You come back and play the tape of today and tell me, Your Excellency, you said on a day like this that the value of property around that area in a few more years to come will go out of the reach of so many people. But today, those who could look at the future, we need to be a little bit more futuristic. We need to actually see what we can catch and zero in on that. We need to see how we can connect on the development that will come out of that. An industrial city is not something that one local government can even take care of. An industrial city is a massive thing. And as of today, since we have an anchor tenant who has already agreed to actually bring a whole lot of capital, so as an anchor tenant to start with the fabrication yard and so many other things, and I'm sure if I mention that name off camera, a lot of you can cross-check. Or you can also cross-check with the MD of, Group MD of NNPC, whether what I'm telling you is true or not. We try to keep this. You know, I'm one person that believes if one road is closed, many more are open. If we cannot get this, to me, there is an alternative to everything. I believe there's even an alternative even to death. I always tell my high school members, don't tell me nothing in life does not have alternative. If there's no alternative to death, how come Ibom man manufactured life support? Life support is a psychological warfare. Just to let you know, as if that person is still alive. That person is not the one breathing. It's the machine that is breathing for the person. It's just to give you that psychological balance that the person is alive. There's nobody who is in life support that is still talking. Am I correct? Medical doctors, not even one. So there's an alternative to death, which is life. And what is that life? Life support. So if there's an alternative to everything, I believe I shouldn't just come back and say, oh, because this investor had gone and I should, no, I'm not that kind of a person. We will get that concluded. And then you come and take subsector by subsector. Because there's no government who will just neglect certain sectors. I stand to be corrected today. Check the number of infrastructure we put in schools. And as at the last count, we are getting close to almost 5,000 projects we've done across the schools. Close to 5,000. And unfortunately, when we also criticize leadership in Africa, let's also look at how followership could be. It might interest you to know, I'm not afraid to say this, it might also interest you to know some of those schools that we bought those computers to make the model schools and so on, even the people within that community today have carted away all those computers. They've broken into those places. Look at some of the schools we've renovated. Today, go, you won't find those windows again. Look at the transformers we bought. The first order of transformer I had was 430. We installed all of them. Today, go and check how many are not there. Go and check how many they've drained the oil so that those transformers run dry and then they get burnt. No society can develop when I keep doing one thing over and over again. The other time we trailed how many transformers, we were only lucky to recover 18 somewhere down the east. I mean, these things we need to also know. When you people also criticize leadership, let's also look at the followership. It is only here in Africa that you see people resisting development. There are a whole lot of roads that you people come and criticize me for not doing it. But you wouldn't know what the community is doing to the contractor because we don't want to come into the radio to announce it. So I also want to believe that as we are all poised to receive development, let us also have the heart to talk to the followership. That leadership is ready, followership must also be ready. If a driver is on the steering and is not allowed to drive by those who are in the vehicle with him, there's absolutely nothing the driver can do. So we need the cooperation of everybody to get to where we are. Because if you look at today, while factories are closing in Nigeria, at least I can conveniently say we've attracted not less than 24 factories into Akwa Ibom State, and many more are coming. Why foreign investors are exiting? If you go to Eastern Obolo today, see what we are trying to do in oil and gas. We've met a situation where over the past 35 years, Akwa Ibom State controls 36.1% of the oil and gas reserve of this country. I don't even have a depot. And I've never seen where people team up together. I say, Governor, we want to help you. Let's also go to this place and also solicit that we also need to be recognized. But rather, people are just there to criticize. Recently, a young man took me on in the internet, and I can pardon his ignorance. And what did he write me about? Castigating me all through. That from Odukbani to Ikoregbene, the road they wanted to do. That the cost of that road, as the paper I saw, was about 189 billion naira. How much am I using to do roads in Akwa Ibom? And on top of that 189 billion naira, they told me that I should come and pay compensation. And where is that money coming from? Petroleum profit tax. Who are the owners of petrol? Us. In Akwa Ibom, no depot. Mention one thing. Even an office of NNPC in Akwa Ibom, mention where it is located. And then you are taking my petroleum profit tax, saying that you want to construct the road. I agree. But why should you tell me to come and pay compensation? Is that how compensation are being paid everywhere, that the road construction is going on? So let the young man also get educated. There are certain things we don't want to say because we believe in one country, one Nigeria. But why should I be the one to pay the compensation for just between Odukbani and here? Am I going to struggle the road with the federal government? Who did the valuation for that compensation you want me to pay? People just carry pain. Instead of trying to see where he's being cheated, he's encouraging himself to be cheated. Where is the problem with a governor asking that, look, it is not right to tell me to pay compensation? If you have taken 189 billion of my tax revenue, I deserve something. Or if you think you cannot do it, so why not give me that 189 billion and see whether I won't deliver that road and something plus? If you give me that 189 billion, I will deliver that road probably pass Ikoregbene and go towards Aba with that 189 billion. What is wrong in giving me that money if it's my petroleum tax money? But somebody will just take a pen and just write, come on. You need to look at certain things and also know where we are being cheated so that we don't encourage other people to just believe. It's not everything that is politics. It's not everything that comes under the name of politics. When you are even shooting yourself in the foot, people call it politics. I don't think that's politics. Politics, you should also recognize your certain things that you should also be asking for. I can go on and on in every subsector, in education, in agri, in health sector today. I stand here to be corrected. Let me find any subnational that have made the level of investment we've made in healthcare delivery system. Today, in this country, you enter the theater of a general hospital, will compete favorably with the theater of a teaching hospital anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. I stand to be corrected. So, in every subsector, I think we have delivered on our promises. We have kept our social contract. I don't have time because if I want to take subsector by subsector, even by the time I finish a Greek, get into other subsectors, education, healthcare, and so on, the whole time would have been spent. But I really want us to have time for an interaction so that you ask me questions. You can say, I didn't come with a piece of paper. I don't have anything apart from the same program that you are holding. I'm not a governor, but I can assure you, I came to govern. There's no aspect of development, there's no aspect of governance you ask me here, and I'll be found wanting. To show you that hands are on deck. I'm the kind of driver that I put my eyes on the steering and on the road that we are going to. I didn't come with any piece of paper, but ask me anything, challenge me anytime, let's have a fruitful interaction. Let me know where that you say, oh, today, if I have opportunity to ask a governor, I'll ask him this question or that question. Let me not take you through all the things we've done, because if I do that, till tomorrow morning, we won't leave here. We've done so much. It's only that we refuse to acknowledge what we have achieved as a people. But I think we've achieved so much. And we deserve to give ourselves a better round of applause as a state, that we've done so much for ourselves. With your help, with your support, and so on. So if there's any subsector, if there's anything you want us to know about, that's why it's called a media parley. I didn't come here just to brief you. No, I came here so that I can interact with you. We can know what we've done right, what we've done not too well, and where you want us to focus on based on the resources and other limiting factors. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a rousing round of applause to His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State? You cannot fault him on his hands-on knowledge of the things that are going on in this state. And like His Excellency has guided, we're going to be guided. It's not the first time we're doing this, and we'll please request those who have questions to ask on the issues that have been raised about governance, about leadership in this state. Kindly indicate. Once the microphone is given to you, you'll go straight to the point. Mention your name, mention the medium that you report for, and ask not more than 2 questions so that we can take others. We'll take in multiples of 3. After 3, His Excellency will answer, and we'll see how much more time we can take. The very first hand I saw is the gentleman by the door there. He's raising both hands. If there's a microphone close to him, please pass it to him. Tell us your name. Tell us which organization you're from. Ask your question or make your contribution as quickly as possible. Please, gentlemen who have the long tripods or the live cameras, kindly decentralize so you do not create a wall and then obfuscate what we're doing right here, please. Thank you very much. Hand him the microphone quickly, please. Give it. No, we can. That's okay. That's okay. Please just go straight to the point.
Emmanuel Ufon is my name. I write for the Cradle newspaper. Your Excellency, on the 12th November 2021, at the EXCO meeting, you announced the award of the 21.5 kilometers road network covering, in quote, Ediene Ikotayan to Nokam, and 45 span meters network bridge for the Kono people. Quite unfortunate, Your Excellency, the contractor, Z Construction Company, went into, got a loan facility to start the construction of that road while your government was assuring
Please, sir,
him
can you just ask the question?
My question is, why is it that the project is not continuing?
Okay.
The project has been abandoned.
Thank you very much. I think you've asked the question. Thank you very much. Yes, there's somebody there. By the way, sir, you said the company obtained a loan. Are you on the staff of the company? Do you speak for them? Give the microphone to the gentleman there, please.
Are you sure was the loan they obtained, or they obtained a performance bond? Sorry, please, one house. Let me make a correction that probably will guide other questions. See, a lot of people see road, see construction. They might not understand the processes. And I also tell you, I don't play politics with development. I don't do something because I believe after 8 years I'll go. No, not at all. I must account for every penny that Akwa Ibom State had gotten as a leader. If I don't account towards man, God will hold me accountable. Be rest assured, what I will not do with my money, I will not do with the state government money. So if I give a contractor a job and I need a performance bond, an advance payment guarantee of a reputable institution, so that even if I leave office today, that guarantee will stand in for the quality of work and for the completion of that work. If that is not done and the processes are not followed to my satisfaction, sir, no matter the name you call that company, we will not proceed. So at times people just, the announcement for the award of road is just the approval. It's not the processes and it's not the construction. So I'm sure the Commissioner for Works is listening to you. We have processes, we have procedures that we've set up, we have governance structure in each of the capital projects that we are doing. So please, for the benefits of those who will ask similar questions, cross-check first. Does it comply with the governance structure? Does the covenants that we set up in terms of the advance payment, the performance bond, and the rest of the things have been kept to? Once that is done, few other questions would have come up. But for us to come out to announce means that, number one, we've gotten the approval of the House of Assembly, and number two, mind you, I'm also a governor. If I waited for cash to do development, we would have done 50% of what we've done. I'm a governor that I don't wait for cash. We try to create money to do certain things we want to do. So there's a difference between cash and money. So we try to create money to work, even when cash. And people who are working with the state will tell you, many times we pay salary in this state even without statutory allocation. Many times. Even the time through politics, they block all the state government accounts. I was still paying salaries. I was still paying pensions to the pensioners. And people did not know that. So I want you to probably check the governance structure with the Commissioner for Works so that could guide others that will ask similar questions. Thank you.
Okay, please confirm that information from the Commissioner for Works. Thank you. It's a gentleman that is, okay, yes, please.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please, Your Excellency, this is coming from the people of Ekpiri. My name
Can
is
you
Godwin
please
Akpan.
introduce yourself?
My name is
Yes.
Godwin Akpan for the love of Nigeria. Mine is from the people of
Is that the name of the newspaper company?
Flon
Yes.
TV, sir, yes.
Flon TV?
Yes, sir. The people of Ekpiri in Sukara Fort asked that I should come and tell you a very big thank you.
Thank you.
For intervening in that particular road in that Ekpiri in Sukara Fort.
I hope
road.
they pay taxes. So.
Your Excellency, that road in the few months ago was completely impassable for both vehicle and even human. Nobody could access that road, even houses.
Godwin, the point has been made. Please move
Now,
ahead.
they said, now, Your Excellency, you intervene in that road, even though it's not yet completed, work is ongoing. But they asked that I should come and say a very big thank you to you, that they never hoped or had any belief that that road will be constructed.
We'll
under
complete
your watch, that has been constructed.
Thank
That's
you.
number one, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Godwin.
The question I want to ask, Your Excellency,
Question, Gara.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Your Excellency, what I want to ask that this particular road people have been talking about this 10 lane that is being constructed right now, and of course a lot of people have asked a lot of questions. Is this 10 lane? Is this 6 lane? Is this 8 lane? And of course it has watched the media. So Your Excellency, I want you to clarify that so that the people that are watching us right here will understand what this government
Thank
has
you.
to bring to the people.
Points taken, please. I want to take a picture, a question from a lady, please.
I think such a question, the people that went on the project tour should help me answer it. Because if I answer, it will seem because I'm a governor, I'm answering it. Yes, another question?
A lady, please.
Yes,
Please, sorry. We have 14 cameramen. You are creating a wall. Can you please create some space so we can see, please? Please go ahead.
All right, this is a lady. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Blessing Ambrose of Beam Television. A few days ago, we had an anniversary lecture which we look at the journey to the world class, Akwa Ibom State. And then you cannot talk about the world class without mentioning industrialization. When you came into, when you assumed duty as the governor, we knew you as Mr. Industrialization. And you speak with passion as somebody that wants the good of the state. And you have someone that that you believe that he has the interests of the state at heart, that will take Akwa Ibom to the world class that we are clamoring for. Now, I want to ask, how can we separate politics from industrialization? Because when we look at the factors affecting industrialization, we look at political, or we look at politics, we look at policies. And then in Akwa Ibom, there are so many things that you promised that you are going to fulfill at the end of your administration. And electricity, power for all, is one of them. And you cannot talk about industrialization without mentioning electricity. Yet, Akwa Ibom State, we are looking at 35 years. 35 years after your expiration, and then you hand over power. God willing, Pastor Umoeno assumes the position of the governor of Akwa Ibom State. How are we going to? I'm saying God willing.
Blessing, I think, please, can you round
Don't worry, you are right. It's the will of God. Go ahead.
How are we going to have the Akwa Ibom of our dream, that all these things will be working? Electricity will be working, the policies will favor the entrepreneurs in the state. Thank you.
All right. Ralph, can I take that question?
Yes, Excellency.
It's a question that I could have mentioned, but since she has brought it as a question, I want to answer. If you check today, don't ask me, find out from the power sector in Nigeria. They will tell you there's no state before now, as at today, that had invested 50% of what we've invested into power sector. Cross-check. Today, look at everywhere in Ikorodu, look at what we've dropped there. We are doing one now in Okobo. Look at our substation in Eket. Look at the kind of substation we have in Ekam today. Even federal government is struggling to build it across the states. We have it all worked out. And as I'm talking to you today now, I'm holding a structure with TCN that I will take another such substation across from Eket, across up to Oron. My commissioners they are negotiating with the communities that the high tension will pass through for right of way. The question now is, and as of today, you can correct me if you have the facts, but you know facts do change. As of today, Akwa Ibom is the only state in this country that can boast of generating 150 megawatts of electricity every day. Today, this morning. And mind you, I made turbines that were completely write-off. And today, I've put new turbines, everything in place. We are generating 150 megawatts. If I generate, I build infrastructure, I do everything. Why would you think that I cannot give power 24/7? Akwa Ibom does not consume 115. We need far less than 70 to consume. But I build 115 because I'm trying to get into the future. Mind you, as I'm leaving the office, I've obtained a license for the same power station to generate 692. 692 can take care of how many states in this country? So at times, what we don't see, but people have put on ground, is more than what we see. And the aspect you've not seen is that state government do not control TCN. TCN is absolute under the control of the federal government. That's number one. Number two, I made a distribution aspect of the electricity that a lot of questions are left to be answered. I called PHEDC. I said, when I came in my paper, I saw that we're supposed to own, as a state, more than 12%. Today, you're telling me I'm owning 2%. What's the problem? And I must also tell you, every single transformer you see being installed in this state, every single cable, every single pole you see in this state is done by the state government, not PHEDC. So the question now is, if I've generated, I've given you infrastructure, why don't you give me the power? PHEDC does not even take 30% of the power that we give them and give to people. They came up and said that, look, people don't want to pay bills. I said, nobody talks about that in the modern world, because how do people pay bills on their telephone? But these are totally things that are 100% absolute out of the control of the government. I thought your question in the direction of power for all will be, Governor, when you came into power, how many villages did we have that did not meet the national grid? Today, how many have you connected to the national grid? That's the tone towards the power for all, until I have the control. But good news, because I also believe there's an alternative to everything in life. Good news is that today we are the first state. People thought it wasn't possible. But I want to announce to you, as a state, I've applied for license for distribution, where we set up a utility company, handle our distribution, so that whatsoever we generate, we can take, distribute to our people, and then they will have light. Once that license is out, once that license is signed, but I had the assurance, even 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting. They assured me they will approve that license. The day that license is signed, we'll announce Akwa Ibom Utility Company. And then we'll start our distribution. And then see whatsoever Ibom Power can generate. We can also take and pay. Mind you, even the ones they take from me, I hope you know, I'm not being paid. They are owing me a whole lot of money. I generate, they take to the national grid. And let me also shock you. The line between Ikorekbene and that would take to how many states in this country, that line is also left moribund. The Leluji that also crossed that we could have. So we have power we cannot even evacuate. Today I cannot evacuate the 115. At times when we load 70, the whole transmission line will collapse. So we fall back to 35, at times 30. I think my SSA power, how I wish is here. So we've done a whole lot that will just, what will trigger that is like you've laid the foundation. What it probably needs is just for some switch on. That one, whether I'm in the office today or not, the issue is not a political statement. The issue is a passion of what I would love to do for my people. I'm sure, if you see me since I became a governor, I'm not a governor that goes to commission transformer or borehole. So those things, I take them for granted. How will people think to see me to go and commission? I don't do that. That, to me, is part of governance. It's a social contract, and so on. What I commission are the substations like Ekam, when you watch it, or like the digital substation that we built at 4 lanes here. Every single thing there. And let me also tell you our point of regret. Every single thing I put in, myself, the incoming governor, may not perform magic. The people living in a wet housing, shelter Africa, have no reason not to have light 24/7. But you know what happens? Any day it rains, some hoodlums will go and pull those armored cables. You know, armored cables are not buried. They are buried through a trunking. So it's very easy. Once you disconnect that joint, you can easily put an armored cable. They pull it when it's raining. So at times people will think, oh, rain, they've taken light. It's not. Somebody is vandalizing that power somewhere. And next day, I have to come back and buy those armored cables and replace them so that people could have light. These are the frustrations that you have as governance in Africa. So, but don't worry, the foundation we've laid should take you there. If we can generate that power, and we've done the level of enveloping the whole state, this thing you can cross-check with any of the power people that in Nigeria today, which state do you think have solved a whole lot of the power problems? They will tell you the number one is Akwa Ibom. And by the time we finish the Orange substation, whether I'm in the office or not, we would have enveloped the whole state in a way that there can't be any drop of any load at any point in time. And that load is something we are building for 20-30 years to come that can sustain even our industrialization. Let me also correct something. The industrial city at Mbo, though we have the bomb power, I hope you are aware, as of today, NSIA has signed with the NMPC to go to the SO platform and bring 400 million scopes of gas onshore. And that 400 million scope of gas is what we use to generate power for industrial city. We have avalanche of investors that are lined up to take that. And that's where gas will also go to Ikorobasi for ammonia and fertilizer plant. Today, the ammonia and fertilizer plant cannot kick off because that had not been done. This is 100% out of the control of a governor. It is one thing for me to go and bring investors. Another thing for me to have the cooperation of the federal government. I don't control gas. I don't control so many things. How I wish when I asked for your support to be the president of Nigeria, you gave me wholeheartedly. Nigeria would have been a different place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We have this way, so let us go this way a little bit. And since we ended with a lady there, maybe we'll take a lady from there, please. There's a lady's hand I can see from there. No, the one behind is the one who raised her hand first. Yes, as the one who raised her hand first.
Okay, sorry, they just reminded me that I've not answered the 10 learned questions. You know, if I answer, who is an engineer here? Commissioner for Special Duties, how many marked lanes do we have on the Ring Road 3? Sir?
So it's 10.
Thank you. I think that answers that question. Let me say something. Let me say something for the engineers and those that understand the design of roads. You see, you can't design a service lane to have just one lane. It is not possible. So that service lane is designed to have 2 lanes. And go and measure. Anybody who has a step. But the question there is, do you know why some of these things disturb me in our state? I have other states that it could take you how many hours to move from one local government to another. Ask those who travel. But this is a state that you can meet up appointment in any local government in this state within 1 hour, 15 minutes. And all we see is whether it's 10 or 12 or 14 lanes. It's 15 lanes. God bless you. Okay. Who is asking?
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Mercy Ekeri. I'm with AKBC Television. First of all, let me say thank you very much for, most especially for Itinan Road, because I'm from Itinan. And that road is a lot more expansive. We can drive through freely. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
But I hope you are not from, where is Leprosy Hospital? I hope you are not from that direction.
I'm not from
Okay.
Itinan. Okay, Your Excellency, please. I'm so happy to be here today. And
Mercy, please go straight to the point, please.
Ask my question.
I believe I'm meeting with gentlemen and ladies. Am I correct? If anything does not suggest that you're gentlemen and ladies, the way all of you are looking as if you are pilots of Ibom Air is fantastic this evening. Whoever chose this color, God bless him. God bless that person. You look fantastic.
Your Excellency, please, it's more of a request. Please, what's the fate of casual workers, especially in AKBC, because I'm talking from AKBC. And I remember the last time you spoke in the last media parley. I wasn't here, but I listened all through. You talked about us, our productivity and all of that. You talked about us being not speaking up, not talking about our case, our issue. So today I'm here to ask you, please, what's our plight? We do this job because of the passion we have and because of the drive, because we have hope. We've been told severally that it lies in your hands, and we believe it lies in your hands because...
Okay, Mercy, I think the point has been made.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the fate of casual workers in AKBC?
Mercy.
Yes. Besides, we are very, very productive, Your Excellency.
I can hear you.
Standing before you, I'm a news anchor. I produce programs. I edit videos. I'm a marketer. I am a news anchor.
But you don't carry news about my programs.
Yeah, I do. I do, always and always. And I'm speaking on behalf of all of us here, including all the cameramen.
You don't carry news about my programs,
all the cameramen you see standing here.
Okay, thank you. Please permit me to... Thank you. AKBC people are clapping. Thank you. Permit me, the DG is here. We interact. He knows how much I challenge him because of AKBC. And he knows that the challenge is, if, you see the way I do my things, if AKBC were to be your private business, and I've given you the level of investment I've given, and that business you needed to generate money to feed your family, pay your children's school fees, and do other things, where would AKBC have been today? When you answer me that question, you'll come back with your DJ, I'll tell you. Because, no, you don't need to answer me here. Because you see, my challenge to him is, what capital do people need to start a business? And if that capital is there, there must also be return on investment. Am I correct? Gone are the days where people see government business like government business. Let me put it that way so that I don't say the wrong thing. But I keep challenging him that you can compete favorably with other. You have the staff, you have the passion, you have the drive, and you are a pastor. So you have the power of the oratory, you have the power of persuasion. So what support I give you, you can also drive that to any level, enviable level. And I think me and him, we are still talking because we want to get it to a certain level and we must get it right. The issue is not about casual workers. You see, management students will tell you there are 7 super aces of management. So staffing is just one of them. And you are concentrating on staffing. There are strategies, systems, shared values. Go ahead, you can name them. So if you don't just come and challenge somebody like me with just 1 ace out of 7 aces, where do you keep the other 6? So once you can give me back the other 6 aces of management that can make AK, then I can produce that other single ace. Is very simple. So your DG is answering questions. So don't let me let you know what me and him discuss in the secret. But we are building something to get there. You can only put a staff on top of a structure. Am I correct? You put a staff on top of a systems. You put a staff on top of a strategy. You put a staff on top of shared values. So these are things that you build to a successive organization. And I think we're working on it. You'll be proud of him when he finishes what he's doing with me. Don't worry. It's just temporary. Don't be so much particular about the casual workers. No, that's not the solution. The solution is in the other aces that is being tackled. He's actually working on them. And he will get back to you very soon. You know, he's a very quiet man. He doesn't talk anyhow. So even what we are planning, me and him, he won't come and tell you yet until it materializes. Pastor Kwe, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I have a question here. Somebody sent in written. If I have your permission to read,
listen, because some people are sending questions online.
Somebody sent a question from here saying, what are the measures put in place to stop kidnapping on the waterways, e.g. around waterways, that gendarmes have been assaulting crayfish beach marketers?
Thank you. I think, permit me, issue of security, I will not say everything. But I want to assure you that there is no society on planet Earth. I was reading the other day that New York, as a state, generates revenue of $19.2 billion every month. How many countries in Africa generate that kind of revenue? You can imagine how much California generates. During COVID, the revenue dropped to 16 and they were complaining. So certainly, even with that, those societies still have their challenges. There are certain areas in New York, if you go to, where's the Gerrit? It's been there. I've never been to New York before. All these ones I'm reading in the paper. All these ones are Brooklyn. The area they call Brooklyn in New York. If you know the way you work with your wristwatches. What I'm trying to say here is that we will do everything humanly possible. It is not practical for us to totally eliminate certain vices in our society. But trust me, I stood 1 week and bought 13 gunboats for that waterways. 13 gunboats in 1 week. This is something I could have gotten a lot of support from the federal government. I don't control the police. I don't control the Navy. I don't control the Army. Our own is to support. Today, in 1 day, my SSU will tell you, if he's here, we bought 10 Hilux vehicles for those water line from Oran, Umbo, Oran, and so on. But the personnel, the training of those personnel cannot be done by state government. They've posted to me some marine police, some marine security officers who are mounting those things. Thank God the IG also gave us a very major big gunboat to add, a very major fighter boat to add to that. So we are working. With those gunboats, they will need time. We have to train them on the use of them. Some of them were not trained on those modern ones now. But trust me, everything support I should have given as a state government, I'm giving. Very soon, we should be able to conquer. You know, some of these things crept its head. It takes time for you to try to work around it to provide a permanent solution. But we are on it. It was so terrible around the Eastern Obolo side because some of these people are not from Nigeria. You know, mind you, it's water. Some of us here, on the message cover, so many of us can't even enter a swimming pool. So it's not that easy. If you enter that water, by the time you go a few meters deep, even the color of water will frighten you. So it's something that we could have actually enlisted a whole lot of support from the Nigerian Navy. But the question is, even the Nigerian Navy themselves, they have limited resources. So by the time they deploy those resources to protect the oil installations, we are not left with that much again. So it is through the help of the state government that we are trying to provide facilities that help on those shoreline. And unfortunately for me, we are, okay, let me say fortunately, because it's a blessing. We have 129 kilometers of shoreline, the longest in the whole country. To police 129 kilometers, do you know how many gunboats you need? So even if we keep buying gunboats every month, we'll still be, there will still be some gaps. So we are still calling on the federal government to help us, but we are not stopping. I bought 13 one week, and I told them that before December, we'll augment that number, because we deployed some along Eastern Obolu. That's why that area is a bit calm now. We are now trying to deploy a whole lot around Oron, and so on. And mind you, these criminals too are very sophisticated too. They are very sophisticated too. So it's challenging. So please, whoever asked that question, we are doing everything possible. As I'm talking to you right now, if you enter that water, you see the number of patrol boats that we have. The police is doing a whole lot. The Nigerian Army is doing a whole lot. The Navy is doing a whole lot. All of us, we are doing a whole lot. But it's not yet enough. We will be able to reduce that to the barest minimum before Christmas, I can assure you. Thank you, whoever asked that question.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a hand there. We'll begin to round off. You know, we cannot take all. There's a hand there. Please kindly hand the microphone to one of the gentlemen waving earnestly there.
Atiana, you wanted to ask a question? Not today.
Okay. The drivers of tomorrow, and now we say the future is today. So how are you investing in, the youth of today in such a way that they take over tomorrow? And how are they able to drive the economy, that's what we now refer to as the digital economy, that you know very well as an economist, that
okay, sir, if I understand,
I understand your question.
I think your question is understood. Thank you.
Let me also say something. If you look at our program, you could see that the Google Triangle one terminates here. You are making me to announce certain things I couldn't have announced. Check that Google Triangle. You know, last week we were to do a breaking of the Google Triangle. You know, it's Lagos, Abuja, Akwa Ibom. And the main from the submarine cable through Sao Tome is coming in from Ibron into Ekere and so on. That's what I wanted to launch last week. No investment can match that when you're talking ICT and future of Nigeria and ICT. Nothing can match that. And you know, when it comes to ICT, it's not everything you see with your eyes. So even if you tell people, there are times they might not believe it, but that's the truth. Nothing can match that. Let me also tell you, without taking it from that point, a lot of things we do would not be materializing in a way that will create the impact that you're asking for. I remember when I came in my first term, I was so passionate. I got Oracle. We were targeting 1,000. Those 1,000, at the end of the day, I didn't get up to 20% that yielded what I wanted. So I needed to change the strategy. Recently, we just launched what we call Ibom 3000. And every blessed month, I'm not playing politics here, you can cross-check with my Minister of Labor. Every single month, at any point in time, you have minimum of 100. I don't want to say more than that. Minimum of 100 of our youths at any point in time that are being trained by the names who is who in ICT of the future. As I'm talking to you right now, I don't know whether the Commissioner for Labor is here. We just graduated some, which have moved on. Then we are still graduating a whole lot. And we'll continue. Then there's something I launched because of what I call the critical mass in doing that, which I call the Ibom 3000. Let those people give you the testimony of what transpired. Mind you, these things cannot be done overnight. It's a gradual thing. We are building. If you are building, you can't just put everything overnight. If you do that, that building will not stand. So we are building gradually, and it will continue. A whole society that is just coming up like this with so many challenges, I mean, you can't get that done overnight. So we'll get that going on. And you see, in some of those economies that you're referring to, they are being so heavily supported by research institutions. I'm sure you know that. Who is supporting us in Akwa Ibom? They are being so seriously supported by those research institutions. And those researches are sponsored by corporate bodies across the globe. So we are trying to do our own environment, linked solution to what we can't get right now, to get our people there. But I'm happy that today you go to so many of these places, you see a whole lot of our people there making waves. I think there's one of them that we are giving an award next Saturday. Still a major breakthrough in ICT. So we'll get there. We are building, we'll get there. Once we can get that submarine Google Triangle drop in Akwa Ibom, oh goodness gracious, will be a mileage, we'll get to a mileage that, you cannot research right now in this hall. Thank you. I don't want to say more than that, so that I will not say everything. And thank you for coming from Abuja. I hope you've seen a technology in coconut factory you've not seen anywhere in Africa. You agree with me?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because
after you have left office,
the only measure of taking is to give you people Pastor Moino, and that's all. God bless you. That's the only measure of taking. Let me say something. You see, journalists, let me say something.
Nigeria's most friendly media governor, His Excellency Mr. Dome Emmanuel, Governor of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Moses F. Ekpo, MFR, Secretary to the State Government, Head of Service, the CPS to the Governor, Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, the candidates for the PDP in the governorship elections, members of the State Working Committee, members of SEC, past chairmen, veterans here present, honorable commissioners here present, very distinguished colleagues. May I respectfully convey the warmest wishes of the leadership and members of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council to you, and further extend our felicitations on the 35th anniversary of Akwa Ibom State. Also, Your Excellency, congratulations on your appointment as the chairman of the presidential campaign of the People's Democratic Party. Today marks the 4th interactive session the union will have with you since the birthing of this current leadership on the 2nd of August 2019. And we do not take these opportunities for granted. Your Excellency, as they have provided us with the opportunity to carefully and attentively listen and properly appraise your achievements in office. Your Excellency, permit me, on behalf of the union especially, as you begin the final phase of your administration, that the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council, is proud of your laudable strides towards a sustainable social, economic, and political development of our state. The completion agenda of your administration is rapidly unfolding, and we as partners in this agenda once again reaffirm our vote of confidence in your leadership of our dear state as we look forward to an exciting end on the 29th of May in 2023. As the road to the 2023 general elections approaches, the media, as the fourth estate of the realm in the state, has resolved to ensure that our role will remain significant in the leadership recruitment process in Akwa Ibom State. We are going to do this within the bounds of our ethical and professional standards expected of core journalists. We shall remain open to all political parties and their stakeholders. Your Excellency has resolved to ensure that our role will remain significant in the leadership recruitment process in Akwa Ibom State. We are going to do this within the bounds of our ethical and professional standards expected of core journalists. We shall remain open to all political parties and their stakeholders, and there will be an objective, level playing field in our reportage and activities. Your Excellency, please permit me to notify you officially that the NUJ Akwa Ibom State has concluded plans to organize a governorship debate for all candidates of the 18 registered political parties in November this year. This will be a platform for those contesting to govern our state to showcase their plans for the continuation of the development of the state and take electioneering away from the needless political bickering and futile banters. The stage will afford our people the opportunity to listen to the candidates and make informed electoral decisions based on answers to questions on critical issues affecting the state. Following our recent elections in the state NUJ and our election into the state working committee, we intend to consolidate on upholding the tenets of professionalism for our members. This is more urgent, especially where the challenges posed by quackery and pretenders to this noble profession, which has brought a lot of misinformation and mudslinging in information dissemination. In addition, we shall continue to improve and enhance on the welfare of our members, the completion of the infrastructural renaissance within the premises, and consolidating on the task of unifying our members to achieve more professional goals. Our chapels have raised the bar of professional excellence with regular activities and human capacity development programs for members. Just last week, Your Excellency, the Correspondence Chapel had a retreat in Abuja for her members, the first of its kind by any chapel in any state council in Nigeria in the heart of the nation's capital, Abuja. In the month of October, the State Executive Council has scheduled to have our own retreat in Yenogwa, Bayelsa State. And these programs are projected to prepare us as leaders and by extension the State Council for the new templates in this tenure. Your Excellency, earlier this month, precisely on the 5th of September 2022, at the NUJ zonal meeting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Akwa Ibom State Council was commended as the best NUJ council in the zone, and I dare say in Nigeria. This has been achieved largely due to your unflinching support to the growth of the State Council, which even the Zonal Council eloquently acknowledged. Your Excellency, despite our achievements in the last 3 years, we once again have come as your children, appealing for your support in so many areas. In the donation of buses to our various chapels, Swan and NUJ, as we no longer have functional buses in the State Council. Furthermore, our sustained appeal for the implementation of the 22% weigh-in allowance for our members in government employ should be respectfully addressed, and the urgent need to 22% weigh-in allowance for our members in government employ should be addressed. And also, like you rightly observed, the need to employ qualified journalists for the Akwa Ibom Newspaper Corporation and the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. And I believe that when you must have finished your discussion with Pastor Enyetu Ukpe, this will also be an anniversary gift to the media community in Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, despite your huge investment in key sectors of the state, the Union believes and appeals that the government printing press under the Ministry of Information and Strategy should be reactivated for production purposes, and the ghost printing machine lying idle at the premise of the Pioneer House should be revitalized with sufficient manpower training to commence immediate operations. This will have the ripple effect of offering more employment for qualified journalists and improve the performance of state-owned newspaper, thus restoring it to its past glory as one of the most formidable news platforms in the country. Your Excellency, on the 11th of June, 2021, during our last interactive session, you promised the Union the sum of 20 million naira towards the completion of the auditorium project in NUJ, which, when completed, will be the biggest event center in any NUJ state council, with potentials to make the council economically independent when completed. We respectfully solicit, and we know that when we leave here, we will go home with that money. We also appeal for financial support to surviving victims of the accidents that claimed the lives of staff of the Akwa Ibom Newspaper Corporation 2 years ago. We would still need assistance. Some of them are due for surgery, and also support to the bereaved families. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me use this opportunity to appreciate the candidate of the People's Democratic Party for the governorship election, Pastor Umoino, for his contributions to the auditorium project in the NUJ and his promise to further assist the union. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your sustained support to the NUJ in all activities. You have been a father whose wise counsel and support we have consistently enjoyed. We love you, and we hope that you will meet us again before your tenure ends on the 29th of May, 2023. Your legacies will remain evergreen. Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Moses Ekpo, MFR, Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for being our pillar and the history you have made as the longest serving Deputy Governor ever in Akwa Ibom State. You have clearly shown that a journalist will ever remain the best choice in leadership, service, and being a team player. We sincerely appreciate the support of the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Senior Special Assistant on Media, Mr. Kereti Udo, for his support to the union. We are grateful, and he holds the record as the longest serving Chief Press Secretary to the government in Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, please permit me to celebrate some of our ambassadors here seated who have also distinguished themselves in the completion agenda of your administration. Take a bow, the Director General of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Pastor Anyeti Ukpe, for his sterling leadership qualities. Just recently, he was honored as a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in Abuja. We celebrate you. Your Excellency, let me also tell him to stand and take a bow. The chairman of the Akwa United Football Club, your senior special assistant on sport, Elder Paul Bassi, Nigeria's best club sports chairman, winner of the Nigerian Professional League in 2020-21 season, Elder Paul Bassi. Thank you very much. Let me also celebrate one of us. We call her the garrison commander, Comrade Comfort Umana, former director of information in the Ministry of Information. We celebrate you. One of us is a candidate for Akwa Ibom South Senatorial District in the upcoming elections, Right Honorable Barrister Ekong Samson. We also have here in our midst, please rise and take a bow, the candidate for the People's Democratic Party for Ikono State Constituency, Honorable Itoro Kolumba, who once served as your executive chairman in Ikono local government. We also celebrate the executive chairman of Ukanafun local government area, Honorable Power of the Union for all. To your administration, we kindly appeal that you give deaf ears to those who come around to tell you that the NUJ is not supporting your administration. Comments and expressions of individual union members should not be regarded as an NUJ stand. As a union, we have no political parties, and we are not committed to giving candidates of different parties. We are more committed to giving candidates of all political parties an equal opportunity. Akwa Ibom belongs to all of us. Your Excellency, today, your administration is 7 years, 3 months, and 21 days, and we have remained critical partners and stakeholders in the completion agenda. we will continue to project and promote the Akwa Ibom story. We have only one state, Akwa Ibom. The NUJ will always play her watchdog role. We will write to unite and not destroy. And our history, I can assure you, shall remain collective. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that God will lead you through this journey successfully. Finally, Your Excellency, before I leave, you have just returned from a prayer meeting for Akwa Ibom, and the Spirit of God will give you the consent to all our requests. God bless Akwa Ibom State.
It's a little. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, that address is proudly sponsored by the Ministry of Information and Strategy. No, they didn't sponsor it. That was meant to be a joke. Please put your hands together one more time. First, must have a state. And then, of course, even the comment by the chairman of the NUJ that will report to unite the state. We're going to bring this to an end in not too long a time, but I'm aware that there are some announcements that His Excellency the Governor may wish to make. And if you all agree, I will invite His Excellency to address us again. Those in favor of the motion say aye. When the NUJ chairman was mentioning money, you will clap. When they mention money, you clap. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Excellency, the NUJ have become a parliament, and the ayes have it. Let me invite His Excellency the Governor to please give a few announcements, please.
NUJ had seized my account. NUJ, you can't seize my microphone, no, because that's where I can make the announcement. Let me once again, the Deputy Governor, all distinguished people in this banquet hall today, let me show our appreciation on behalf of the government and the people of the state. I still keep signs for the collaboration. I enjoyed myself from the beginning till now. Unfortunately, I would have loved to do this as often as possible, like Holy Communion. But time. You can see that I try to walk round the clock. A lot of people are asking, why are you walking as if you are a first-term governor? Keep telling people I was elected to serve for 8 years. And it's service to the people. And I have to do it. So pardon me that we keep running up and down. We cannot just sit down for some of these things to come. We have to go chasing them and bringing them back to our state. Chairman, let me start with the last one. Unfortunately, my duty is to make pledge, is to announce the pledge. It's the duty of my commissioner to redeem the pledge and make the pledge available. So I will say so now because I've told him. He said you hope you leave here with a check. If he doesn't write you that check, make sure you let me know. And I'm not joking about it. Because if they get work in this one meeting, who redeem pledge you with someone now? Abi? Okay. The God's printing machines you're talking about is something we've taken up in ESCO. He has all the solutions. The printing press, we've also talked about. But you see, the issue of the printing press and the God's printing, some of you will attest to the fact that I'm a businessman. I don't mean swear about that. I'm a total businessman. If you like, take it that way. And why am I a businessman? If I put that printing press the way you want it, it will just be one of those things. And I don't want to make it one of those things. I asked him that he should work with me. Let's have an investor that is indigenous, preferably. that we can put this as an investment, and then we partner with that investor and make this place functional. And also where a lot of people can be employed, can be trained, and then we can achieve what we need to achieve. I'm sure, if not for COVID-19, we would have achieved this far back before now. A whole lot of things we were doing. Immediately COVID started early 2020. So many of our technical partners backed out. It's not only here, it's like that all over the world. So I'm sure he's seriously working on it. For AKBC casual staff, you're asking me that I should regularize the appointment of at least 30 to 35% of them as an anniversary gift. Since Akwa Ibom is 35 years, so 35% of them is regularized effective October 1. Effective October 1. The reason I'm saying so is that, please permit me, I keep saying so. Any organization can survive or die because of people. Permit me that they still go through our regular employment processes. And I believe, having served that long, they will understand the critical success factor that can make them see through. I don't joke with human resource for any reason. So I'll give them that as an anniversary gift. Other things you ask for, those ones are not an anniversary gift. They will come at the right time. But trust me, they are good prayers that you've made. We'll look at them and we'll answer them accordingly. Even God, there are some prayers you make, you don't receive immediate answer. You wait until the right time. Even the Bible says in due season. So in due season, you get answer to the first two prayers. I think, be that as it may, I believe we had a nice session. For those who could not ask all the questions, the chairman has asked that there should be at least one more interaction before I leave office. What will ginger that interaction faster is if all of you can join hands and sell PDP at the national. I've listed all of you today as member of the Presidential Campaign Council. So join me today. So join me, all of you. You see, in life, I learned something. Somebody told me politics is all about interest. Whether you like it or not, this is a particular point. I think there should be a certain bit of sentiments that could come to play here. If they give our party, you recognize Kendofo. Okay, come, you form the next government. I think it will be a very good thing. Even if you don't have anything, even there are a lot of things. I'm being this telling me, I do need money. Trust me. I've recently deep sea port me. I would remind you a government or maybe get a government. No, these people a sovereign guarantee for 50 years. I get a port by today, easily, not cash, not cash. I would mean a government today. Obasanjo can order one day about your IOC say return. I don't mean I'm doing. Nigerian government in here, I think 60%. Am I correct? Of all the IOCs. So even if they bring those 60% to the communities they are operating, do you know the economic impact that will have? That does not need money. Just one stroke of a letter of this, those people will all return. These are things that can help the economy. These are things that can, break the politics of you will never hear me podium. I don't talk about any political party. I don't talk about any individual. I talk about what I can do for my people. Anybody who comes to the podium, this when governor, the only what to do. That's not politics. Don't get this when governor. Tell people what you're going to do for them, and then they will vote for you. But I'm telling Akwa Ibom people that I need your support. If you support me as the chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council, hold me responsible for those things that I don't need money. All I need is approval for the economy of this state to move forward, and I'll bring them back. Trust me, I'll bring them back. So I need your support. I need your support, and make sure interest should also come to play here. Mbake live TV, but they're going to for support. I want to say support here from BSN. But I sincerely enlist all of you on this move. If those are the people that recognize us and believe we can have a voice, I mean, then we'll speak for you people and then something will come up. The rest, stakeholders meeting. It's on that note, I believe we've done well for today. I've spent more than 2 hours here, this past 6. I think I'll find time to spend such time again with you. This week also, I think I'm on a live program, one of these early mornings, to also take on Akwa Ibom at 35. I think it's on Thursday. So you can join us live on Thursday morning. I don't know, I think Channels TV, to talk about Akwa Ibom in the past 35 years. And then the way forward. Our theme for this year is moving forward. Forward ever, backward never. As you are here, God bless all of you. God prosper the work of your hands. God prosper your family, your children, and everything you've done. And as you've seen 35 years of Akwa Ibom, God will make all of you see many, many, many more fruitful years of this state. God bless you all. So can we rise for national anthem? Don't worry, Ebogiru code meeting, say one meeting, yes, one meeting. Go for the camera, national anthem.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I think it's the end of the live transmission. Please, all the live cameras.